I have a couple of newsletters, email newsletters, which deal with 2 or 3 different strands of activity. By that I mean I give away a free report, for example, to do with buying or selling a property, residential property in Ireland. And you sign up for the free report and it's delivered to you by email. You essentially put your email into the subscription form and the report then is delivered to you automatically. And after that then there's a series or a good number of tips and tricks and lessons that I share to do with property, to do with buying or selling property in Ireland, and based on what I've learned over the last number of years in the property game. So that's one newsletter I do. It's the property one, I call it to myself. The report is buying a property or buying or selling a residential property in Ireland. So that's one. The second area or sphere of activity is an employment law newsletter that I have, and in it the report is called 16 Common Mistakes That Most Irish Employers Make. Essentially it's a fairly comprehensive report. Again, it's delivered by email to your email inbox, and it sets out common mistakes that Irish employers make. And originally I intended selling it or creating it for employers, but in fact a lot of employees ended up signing up to get the report and signing up for my tips. Again, there's a lot of tips set up in that particular newsletter, so if you sign up for the report, obviously you get the tips then afterwards. They're all to do obviously with employment law, because that particular list is the employment law list. And then those tips, there's a lot of them. There's one every few days for a little while, and then it switches to one every week for a long time, quite frankly. There's a lot of good information in it actually. I put a lot of work into it, and I've kind of neglected the lists there in the last while, but I'm going to return my attention to them and spend a bit more time communicating with subscribers to my emails, people who trust me enough to give me their email address, and I deliver these reports, and then I deliver tips and help, assistance, and basically some lessons that I've learned down through the years in property or in employment law or in whatever sphere of activity you sign up for. Now, the question of privacy and the question of data privacy and so on is something that I take very seriously. I have to, because I'm a solicitor. If you want to unsubscribe at any stage from the list, there's no difficulty, because every single email that I send out has a link at the bottom of it which allows you to unsubscribe from that list. All you do is click on the link and you're automatically unsubscribed. So I treat privacy seriously. I respect your privacy. I respect the data protection obligations to do with email marketing and so on and so forth. They are 2 of the areas of activity that I have a newsletter in. I have another one in the whole area of investment in shares and investment in property. All of these reports, all of these email newsletters you can sign up for on my website, businessandlegal.ie. The employment one then is on employmentrightsireland.com in addition. But as I say, I respect your privacy. You unsubscribe if you want to by simply clicking on a link, and that's the end of it. It's completely free, doesn't cost you anything except your email address. So the quid pro quo is I get your email address and it allows me to communicate with you directly and in a sort of a personal or one-to-one basis, which isn't easy nowadays. And the return for that email is the tips and the report and so on that you get. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in my email newsletter or newsletters, there's a number of them, as I say, and each of them deals with a different sphere of activity. I've one on property, I've one on employment law, I've one on investments, and I've one on making a will. Again, if you check out my website businessandlegal.ie or employmentrightsireland.com, you'll be able to check them out, have a look and sign up for whatever one you want. And it is a subscription, but when I say subscription, it's completely free. There's no obligation, you don't buy anything, you simply put your email address in the sign up form and that's it. Just to answer the question as to why I might maintain an email newsletter, spend the time doing that and spend the time making the emails and communicating with people and so on. Obviously from time to time I'm going to draw your attention to or tell you about a special offer that I have on, for example, perhaps my investment course or perhaps one of my books or a consultation, special promotion or something of that nature. But most of the videos, or sorry, most of the emails that you receive will be informational, will be useful. And if they're not, you simply unsubscribe. That's the deal. I have no difficulty with that, and you'll have no difficulty unsubscribing either. But the reason I would do this and build a list, and I have over 10,000 subscribers across a number of lists, and that's what I'm referring to, email newsletter stroke lists. I have over 10,000 subscribers. What it allows me to do is communicate with you on a one-to-one basis in a way that gives me some degree of control, because if I'm trying to communicate with you on, for example, YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or any other platform, the platform owns the whole mechanism, the platform owns the list, the platform has all the details, whereas when I build my own subscriber list, that's a list of persons with whom I can communicate, and it allows me, as I say, to communicate directly without any worry about Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or somebody else, some social media site, changing the rules and preventing me from communicating with fans who I might have built up as fans or subscribers or followers. For example, a few years ago there, Facebook allowed you to build a huge number of fans to a particular page and encouraged you to do that, encouraged you to make a page, encouraged you to get people to like your page, and then no sooner had you done that and you'd built up 10 or 15 or 20,000 fans to your page, and I've done that, I've actually done it to a number of pages. No sooner have you done that than Facebook then insists that you must pay in order to communicate with your fans. So what I do and what smart marketers do in terms of email marketing is they use email marketing to allow them to communicate and build a relationship with subscribers, people who are interested in what I have to say or what I'm doing, and I don't have to worry about Mark Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey in Twitter or anybody else changing the rules and scuppering, you know, the work and effort and time and so on I've put into building trust, building authority and building a relationship. So I hope you will take the chance, take the opportunity to sign up for one or more of my newsletters. Each of them is, as I say, in a different sphere of activity. The main one would be employment law, then there's one on property, there's one on investments, there's one on small business, and there's one on wills. So hope you find them useful. As I say, you'll find them on my website businessandlegal.ie and employment rights.